company that did it was founded in a Denny's restaurant by a man who arrived in America at 9 years old, alone, who cleaned toilets for minimum wage, who came within 30 days of losing everything. Tainan, Taiwan, 1963. Jensen Huang is born into a family that understands what it means to rebuild from nothing. When he's 9 years old, his parents make an impossible choice. They send him and his brother to America, alone. The plan, live with relatives while the parents save money to follow. Imagine that, 9 years old, new country, new language, no parents. What happens next is darker. Through miscommunication, Jensen ends up at a school in Kentucky. His parents believed they were enrolling him in a prestigious prep school in Kentucky. What they didn't fully understand was that Oneida Baptist Institute was a working school. Students did manual labor as part of their education. Jensen was 9 years old, thousands of miles from home, cleaning bathrooms and farming the land. His family just didn't understand the American system. But here's what Jensen says about that period. It taught him grit. It stripped away any sense of entitlement before he was old enough to have it. Eventually, his family reunites in Oregon. He studies electrical engineering at Oregon State, where he meets Laurie Mills, his lab partner. They'll be married over 40 years. After graduation, AMD, then LSI Logic, then Stanford for his master's. By 1992, Jensen Huang has technical expertise, a Stanford degree, and one question he can't shake. What if you built a chip that did just one thing, graphics, better than anything else on Earth? February 1993, a Denny's in San Jose. Jensen Huang sits with two colleagues, Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priem. Between them, $40,000. Every dollar Jensen has saved, 3 engineers, one idea, one company, Nvidia. They pitch venture capitalists. Sequoia and Sutter Hill believe them. Combined investment, $20 million. The money goes to work immediately. Engineers hired, office leased. First chip development begins. Target being the exploding gaming industry. The NV1 chip launches. It's a catastrophic failure. Nvidia built for the wrong graphics standard. The $20 million is burning fast. Jensen calls a company meeting, tells every employee the truth. The product failed. They're running out of money. Then he says, "We're building a new chip for Direct 3D, faster than we've ever built anything. It will be the best graphics chip in the world." That chip will be called the RIVA 128. But before it's finished, Nvidia runs out of money. 1996. Jensen Huang will later say it in his own words, "We were 30 days from going out of business. 30 days until payroll bounces, until the lights go off, until it's over." So he does what he always does in a crisis. He makes an aggressive bet. He raises fresh capital, more millions, convincing investors the RIVA 128 will work. But something else is happening. A company called SGI, Silicon Graphics, is collapsing. They built the visual effects for Jurassic Park. Once a giant, now bankrupt. Their most valuable assets are being liquidated: equipment, technology and infrastructure. Jensen Huang, running a company 30 days from bankruptcy, makes a decision that's either genius or madness. He borrows millions more, money Nvidia doesn't have, to buy critical technology and facilities from the dying SGI. Not small purchases, transformational infrastructure. The SGI acquisition accelerates the RIVA 128 development in ways that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. The RIVA 128 launches. It sells 1 million units in 4 months. Revenue flows. The engineers who stayed get paid. The investors see their bet validated. Nvidia survives. But in 1999, 6 years after that Denny's booth, Nvidia goes public, NASDAQ ticker NVDA. Opening price, $12 per share. Same year, Jensen introduces a new term, GPU, Graphics Processing Unit. The GeForce 256 launches. The gaming industry loses its mind. The stock climbs. But Jensen Huang is already thinking 3 moves ahead. In 2006, Nvidia releases CUDA, a platform that lets developers use GPU power for tasks beyond graphics: scientific computing, data analysis, weather modeling, drug research. Wall Street barely notices. Analysts shrug. Jensen Huang keeps building anyway, because here's what he understands that nobody else does yet. The future of computing isn't faster processors, it's parallel processors. He can see it. He just needs the world to catch up. The years between 2006 and 2022 are what historians call building years. Jensen pours billions into AI infrastructure, into CUDA, into convincing scientists that GPUs are the future. Critics are vocal. Why is a gaming company spending this much on AI when AI isn't generating revenue? Nvidia's stock drops 50% in 3 months when crypto mining demand collapses. Investors panic, analysts downgrade. Jensen Huang does not change course. By 2022, AI researchers have been using Nvidia GPUs for over a decade. A quiet dependency has developed. The general public doesn't know this yet. Then everything changes in a single month. November 30, 2022. OpenAI launches ChatGPT. 1 million users in 5 days. 100 million in 2 months. The fastest adoption of any consumer technology in history. The world wakes up to AI overnight. And every boardroom, every government, every tech company arrives at the same realization. We need AI infrastructure now at massive scale. And AI infrastructure runs on one thing: Nvidia GPU. Because Jensen Huang spent 15 years building CUDA, the ecosystem AI researchers trained on, built on, became dependent on. Switching away from Nvidia isn't just switching hardware, it's rebuilding years of code and expertise from scratch. The entire AI industry is locked in, and Jensen built that lock deliberately over 15 years. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Oracle, OpenAI, all ordering Nvidia's H100 chips, the new oil of the digital economy. Orders outpace supply by staggering margins. Companies wait months, pay premiums. Nvidia's revenue in 2024, $130.5 billion, up from $27 billion the year before. The stock, from $150 in early 2023 to over $900 by mid-2024. Jensen Huang's net worth, 2020, $8 billion, 2023, $40 billion, 2024, over $100 billion, triples in 1 year, 2025, $164 billion. 8th wealthiest person on earth, 96% of that wealth built after 2020, 60 times richer than he was in 2016. The man who was 30 days from bankruptcy is now worth more than most countries. October 29th, 2025, $5 trillion, more than Apple, more than Microsoft, more than Japan's entire economy. Nvidia's chips run ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, and virtually every major AI system in the world. When you use any AI product today, any of them, Jensen Huang's hardware made it possible. His salary, $1.5 million base. The rest, $164 billion from the equity he held through every crisis, every doubt, every 30 days from bankruptcy moment. He never sold out, he just kept building. 2024, Jensen returns to Taiwan for Computex. He's not even on the official program. Thousands follow him through the streets like a rock star. The press calls it Jensanity. The immigrant who left at 9, who cleaned toilets at Denny's, returns to his homeland as the most influential technology figure in the world. He still wears the black leather jacket. Every event, every keynote, it's not fashion, it's philosophy. Stay consistent, stay focused. Inside Nvidia, he's created more billionaires on his management team than any CEO alive. His wife, Lori, that lab partner from Oregon State, still at his side. Their children work at Nvidia in senior roles. The foundation they started in 2007 with $12.6 million, now worth $12 billion, one of the largest in America. Drop your answer in the comments, because what he does next makes that look conservative. Here's the thing. This story isn't finished. Nvidia's next generation Blackwell chips are already in production. Every major tech company is placing orders years in advance. Analysts project Nvidia could reach $6 trillion. Jensen Huang could become one of the first people in history worth over $200 billion. The competition, AMD, Intel, Google, Amazon, they're all trying, but they're fighting against CUDA, the ecosystem Jensen built over 15 years while nobody watched. The moat everyone now realizes is almost impossible to cross, because the world doesn't just need Nvidia for what AI is today. It needs Nvidia for what AI is becoming. In 1993, 3 engineers sat in a Denny's with $40,000 and an idea. They ran out of money. They nearly died. They borrowed millions. They bought technology from a collapsed company. They built a chip on borrowed time and borrowed faith. They survived. Then they changed the world. Jensen Huang didn't just build a company, he built the infrastructure the entire AI revolution runs on. He saw what was coming 15 years early and had the discipline to keep building when every rational voice said stop. The kid who cleaned toilets, the immigrant who arrived at 9 without his parents, the founder who was 30 days from bankruptcy. Today, $164 billion, $5 trillion company, the most valuable business in human history, and he still wears the same jacket. Final question. And here's what I really want you to think about. If Nvidia didn't exist, would AI even be possible right now? Drop your answer below. If this hit different, subscribe. We're going deep on the biggest business stories ever told, the fortunes built, the empires lost, the decisions that changed everything. The next one's even bigger. See you there.